Troll a minute. Troll a minute.
What's going on, Gray Pill Podcast, man? With the host with the most and jealous, and the one sipping the cup like a honeybee cup. I am a ray of effing sunshine. Yeah, she would do that. What's going on, Mika Meek?
Hi, Abby.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, we have a great special. I appreciate it. This should have been on a Saturday one because it could have been a thank you special. But we have a great conversation with y'all guys, a great topic, a lot of special guests. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna have them waiting as long as they already been waiting. I'm gonna introduce them and bring them in, and we can get the conversation cracking. All right. So here we go. So start from the. How we going, lady? Let me get your face in here. If you'd like to introduce yourself, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Miss Karma, the comedian, and I am the host of my own podcast, which I haven't done in a while. So I'll give time for mentioning that later. But I'm just glad to be a part of this show and get myself back into it. Like, really excited to be here with all the other guests.
Okay, I appreciate you very much, lady. And next up on the list, appreciate you. You'd like to introduce
Hi.
yourself to the crowd and the viewers?
Yes, I am Kina, a therapist and an author, and I just have a lot of projects coming up that I probably will share later.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. God bless.
Hmm.
And next one, Miss Stacy. You'd like to introduce yourself, Miss Stacy? What's going on, lady?
That's it. That's it.
Sure,
I'm
sweet.
Stacy. I don't have a channel or any big projects. I just creep on all y'all from time to time.
Okay, so you for the streets.
I love it. I love it.
I appreciate you
Great.
nevertheless. Hey, what's going on,
Okay,
lady?
that's me.
Hey, you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, my name is Kay. Let's see, I'm with the co-host of the marriage brokerage firm, where we try to help Black women figure out how to get married. So, uh, the do's and don'ts. But anyway, I'm happy to be here today.
Okay, thank you. And again, there's nothing wrong with trying to help people keep the marriage together because they need
That too, yes.
it. And the last but not least, my brother from another mother. I gotta give the poppy salute. Primal Studies. What's
What's
going
up?
on, bro?
What's up, everybody? Somebody said something about being from the streets. I am the streets. All right. So
Oh,
let's.
okay.
No, appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to a great discussion tonight.
All right. So we're gonna have a great discussion. And if anybody's seen the thumbnail, if you've seen the titles about validation. So just go around before I show the little clip and then we can get a reaction to it, stop and pause, all that good stuff. When you hear validation, what's the first thing come to your mind? Miss K, Stacy,
Seeking approval.
seeking approval. Okay, I'll give you that. What about
The-
you, Mika
when
Me?
I hear
Go ahead.
validation, the first thing that comes to my mind is a lack of self-confidence because you need someone else to give you that
Hmm.
Okay, I can
versus
go with that.
self-validation.
Okay. What about you, Miss Karma?
A little brokenness, a brokenness, I would say, from probably some deep rooted um, youth issues, something in the way you grew up where you feel like you need others to basically authenticate some decision making that you're doing or some feelings. So some brokenness, and I can actually speak to that personally,
I think everybody can
because
relate to
I was
that.
that person at a for a long time in my life. So yeah, some brokenness.
Okay. All right. And somebody had made a suggestion here, and I'm pretty much with that one. Insecurities. So I can fall on that one. And they just popped in, so let me just go ahead and just introduce them now. I don't know if they got the video. Hey, Robin, can you hear us?
Hey, yeah, I can hear you. I'm going to turn my camera on in just a second.
Okay, I'll just hold you back, and when I see you come up, then I'll just bring it back up.
No, Mom.
I just want to beat the dog up. let me mute you because I don't want to get no animal cruelty on. I ain't trying to get him locked up. Okay, you're
I
good.
just had to kennel her. She's a monster.
Okay, you're good. But yeah, I pretty much hear insecurities on my end when I hear validations, and that could be like a kind of like a negative validation, if you want to say that. Primer, what about you?
I don't know. I would say approval or to authenticate, because you can have people that, validate you in the workspace, right? They give you a sense of validation. You can give somebody that validates your feelings in a situation. You can validate a set of data, right? So I think sometimes when we talk about validation, we maybe put a bit of a negative context on it. But I think there's a lot of good validation that does happen, and appropriate validation that's out there in the world. So I'm curious to get into the discussion more.
Okay. Real quick, shout out to you, Ian. Appreciate you. Special shout out to Uncle Guns, representing always, and a very, 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 very big shout out to Alicia, because she's always on primals and there. Well, so she finally joined me over here.
Hey!
Yeah, she's my mod buddy over Primal Studies, so I appreciate you a lot. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get in here with this
So
conversation.
you're not going to ask for my opinion?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm hitting below the belt.
Was somebody seeking some validation?
Exactly, already.
Ooh.
Actually, he's the one that said he's sorry. So
Let me
back
say
up, Primal. I disagree with Primal. That's all. I was going to say the same thing.
There you go. She's
Toxic
already,
validation and genuine validation.
or
Yeah,
she's expressing her toxic femininity from the last show we was conversating about. When
No,
we
it's
doing-
my toxic masculinity that you have to worry
Oh,
about.
Good one. I can feel that right now.
I can authenticate that.
I can
Can you guys validate that?
Yes, I can validate right
See?
now. Here we
Now
go.
it's a
Emotional damage.
There we go.
That was good.
All right. All right, so get ready. Is the audio up? Sorry, give me 1 second, please.
This is from Liz Artis. My boyfriend and I were in the throes of power couple love. However, we recently ended up going our separate ways amicably. I am already an accomplished, driven, and vibrant individual, but perpetually seeking growth. I'm looking to better myself for myself, whilst also working on aspects that need to be improved upon in order to bring the best version of myself to the table in the next relationship. Looking back, I believe the feeling of inferiority in intelligence, being interesting, and speaking well really gets in the way of me enjoying any relationship to the fullest. I know that by seeking improvement individually and for my own satisfaction is the way to get around this. But how do you stop the comparison? How do you stop imagining your partner's negative perception of you? It's so easy to fabricate judgmental thoughts that your significant other has about you, which in reality they probably aren't even remotely thinking about.
Yeah. So this goes back to you have to pattern and.
All right, before I push even forward with the rest of the video, does anybody have any thoughts so far with this?
She sounds exhausting. She sounds exhausting.
I mean, I already broke up with her. I haven't even met her yet.
Exactly. I was gonna say if I was her man, I would have been over her already because she's trying too hard. Like, just be yourself. Like, it's like she's striving to win this race. And it's like, just be real, sweetheart. You are so extra. I was exhausted.
I feel
She's
like
really
none of us would be
overthinking.
friends with her.
And I feel like a lot of people, at least people I know, they're often more critical of themselves than other people actually would be of them, right? So if you got a pimple, right, and it's Friday night, you're about to go out, you have this pimple. Like, most people that you talk to, they're going to be like, oh, that's no big deal. That's just a little thing. But in your own mind, that pimple is like the biggest thing in the world to you, right? Then you feel like there's this internal insecurity about it. And that's what her statement projects to me, is this like huge internal insecurity.
What got me was the whole, how do you stop thinking about what they're thinking about you in a negative light? I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm like, every time I do something stupid, I'm like, I'm so funny. I'm so cute. I'm so this. Now I'm I'm the opposite.
I need the same.
Okay.
Oh, good.
I think we're all in unison. She will not be our friend.
So she's got a negative voice in her head that is so paranoid and so convinced that she's not worthy, not good enough, etc. Some very deep-seated insecurity that I'm going to guess goes back to some earlier trauma, possibly from childhood. So that is really critical for her to understand the driver, like where this is coming from, to do that work, and then to not allow herself to project onto that. And if you have open communication with the person, and this is where honesty comes in. It's like, you've got to be honest with the other person at the most difficult times. And the reason is, for those moments when the other person is just being insecure and they need reassurance, the only way it will work is if they know they're going to get the truth no matter what. And for someone with a growth mindset, it's absolutely fine. It's like, if I'm not looking good, if I'm not sounding good, if I'm not whatever, I know I can change those things. So I just want to know, like, where are you at really? Now, there's nothing worse in the long run than someone who's emotionally needy all the time. And we all just have to step up. We all have to learn to love ourselves and be proud of ourselves. We cannot turn for external validation for that. It's not a good look, man. It's not fun to be with somebody who needs it all the time. We all need it from time to time.
I was about to say.
So, unpacking that one, anybody have thoughts before I go? Like,
I'll give somebody else a chance because.
Okay. Now, when he says the self-validation, and when I hear that, I hear that in a relationship form as, you know, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, husband and wife. And a young gentleman said the other day, it's like, when some women do that, they're pretty much taking more of control from the man. Or am I hearing that wrong?
When they do what?
Well, you self-validating, like, it's me. You're taking more energy from them and transferring it to them, to yourself. Or am I hearing something differently from that? Or what did y'all take from it?
Oh, that's seeking validation.
Yeah.
Self-validation is when you feel good all on your own because you know you're good. That's you validate yourself. You're seeking validation from somebody else, and it's projecting a needy, insecure persona.
Okay.
Like, you're constantly asking for, like, do this look good? Do you think this is okay? What are your thoughts on this?
Or
that's
moping,
like constant,
or nagging.
Do you think I look good? Are you lying to me?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
The meme of, like, I bet you he's thinking of that other girl, and then it's always him thinking about something stupid, like the rain or his car or his farts or whatever. Guys don't think that much.
No.
You guys are simple.
No, I've been saying this. Anybody that met me, I already said we're kind of slow and dumb. I've been said that.
Yeah, but you guys are just simple.
Yeah,
I wouldn't look at my spouse pretty much for those simple validations, like, oh, how do I look? Or, maybe sometimes you think it's cute to say, do you like what I have on? Because you want them to say, oh yeah, you look sexy, you look amazing.
It's a positive validation though from time to time.
That's toxic versus genuine validation.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna ask if I look good, but I'm gonna want to hear it from time to time.
Like what I did earlier. I never get validation from the guys, so that there were girls here. I was like, look at my cute overalls.
Exactly. It's some cute validation.
I already know that I like them. So even if someone had said no, that they didn't like them, that's genuine valid. It's, you know what I mean? Like, I think at the end of the day, it's a balance, and you have to be okay with who you are, what you like, what you see in the mirror. And then anything external is just an extra, as opposed to this kind of validation, which is like self-seeking motive. It like creates an external value. So now I'm basing my value on what you think of me. Therefore, I cannot think of my own value. I have no perception of myself. There's a lot of people. Yeah. Las souls.
Speaking of validation, what's going on, Robin K? Pillows and her wall.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Oh, you look so cute.
You know what's funny? I did see that that video with Tom and his wife.
Yeah.
And like, I saw a couple different videos about validation, and it's like, one thing I noticed is it you giving validation, or are you receiving? Like, are you needy? Like, that girl is super needy, right? Mm-hmm. But what I haven't heard a lot of people talk about is, like, is it okay to validate others, and what does that actually mean? Have you guys ever thought of that?
Now, what you mean by validate others? Like friends or coworkers, or just in general?
Yeah. So like, friend in any relationship, it's like your significant other might need validation from time to time. And one of the descriptions of that word that I heard was, it's being able to empathize with the person, whether you agree with them or not, being able to empathize and understand their point of view, even if you don't agree with that, and giving them space and not making it about yourself. That was like one of the the things I read about validation. I was like, well, it's not what I was thinking about when I was thinking about validation. I was thinking more like people who are needy.
Yeah.
Like
okay. And Alicia, yeah, that's toxic validation. You need to stay home, girl.
I love that. Yes, Alicia. Yes. That means he's gonna be wanting to take you home and take it off later too.
He already home. Just stay home.
Angela, stop being a YouTuber.
Stay home.
Another thing with validation is it's not always self-seeking in regards to the physical or your appearance. For me, I often needed validation with I think me being like an empath, and I would be dealing with situations with other people and I would feel a kind of way about it or make a decision, but then I wouldn't sit in my own decision. I would have to call a friend and say, listen, this is what happened. Do you think I'm right? And I know I'm right. I know for a fact that I'm right, but I always needed someone else to just co-sign and say, yeah, you doing the right thing. Because for some reason, I just wouldn't sit in my own truth and say, you know what, this didn't feel right. This situation was wrong. And this is how I want to handle it. I would always need that second person to say, yeah, Shakira, you're doing the right thing or you're not wrong. So validation comes into that aspect as well.
I do that a lot. And you can ask, I'm sorry, I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead, Kina.
Oh, no. Well, I validate clients' feelings all the time. Like, that's part of the therapeutic process, is to validate their feelings and acknowledge what they're experiencing and what they're going through. Like, so it's not always a bad thing. It all depends on how you're viewing it and what the person is seeking and looking for.
Yeah, but isn't that like a cushion though? It's like you're babying somebody, or no?
Because what if they're right about the situation? And in their mind, like how Miss Carmen was saying, like she needed a second opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she was. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So, like, you would validate how they're processing the information. They're not seeking it for a negative. They're seeking it for a positive.
Okay. All right. What you gonna say, Mika?
Yeah, but there's like a different context because, like, I used to be the person that I had to. Fuck, sorry.
Come on, that's a strong girl.
What did you have to do? Yeah.
No, I used to always have to like you said, like I used to have to validate what my decisions were based off of what other people, like a cosign, like, okay, yeah, you were right, even knowing damn well I was right, or there was the right decision or wrong decision or whatever it was. And I had to, and I think that at the same time, that's kind of like a negative where I needed, someone said it when I was younger, and it's
you're
like,
yourself.
No, but there's someone said it when I was younger. They were like, there's your truth, there's their truth, and there's the truth. Right. And it's all about perception, where I had to start learning the truth as opposed to just my truth. And I don't know that most people have told me, like, honor yourself and honor what your feelings are and honor this. I've learned, like, I have my feelings, I can feel them. But the reality is I like to look at the truth, because sometimes I'm an idiot. Sometimes I'm an asshole. Sometimes I'm not thinking.
Yeah, but sometimes, just generally speaking, sometimes when people say stuff like that, not just, they're kind of delusional. It's like, yeah, girl, I know he was a jerk. And then you'll validate them, like, just because you don't want to hear him, like, yeah, he was a jerk. And then they'll continue to push that forward.
But that's what I'm talking about, is that, like, I'm bringing up I'm bringing up many situations where, like, yes, I may have been right. It may have been the truth. They may have been mean. But what happens when you're seeking outside validation so much to make your own decisions is that you fall into toxicity as well, because, like you just said, like, I've had friends that are like, yeah, F them. They were so mean. La, da, 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 da. I don't learn anything from those situations. I'd rather have people that tell me the truth. Like, you guys always tell me the truth, whether I like it or not. Like,
yeah, right.
You know what I mean? And I keep coming back, don't I? And it's like, because it makes me think and it makes me want to be a better person. I think that's why I just keep saying, like, I think there's just a balance of, like, but you have to understand the truth in situations and get to know yourself, the good and the bad. Otherwise, you're going to keep on thinking, whether you're looking for outside validation on looks, on your actions, on your character, on what people think of you, that's still exhausting.
It's definitely a balance, and I had to learn to balance and not seek validation from other people for what I felt in my heart was right. So, but I think what Keena's saying, and especially in her profession, that everyone needs a little soft validation for something. Sometimes you just need somebody to say, you know what, yes, you're doing the right thing, and that's okay too. You just have to have a balance, and you have to know who you're going to for that. Like, you can't just trust that opinion and leave that opinion with anybody. You need to make sure that's a trusted person who's giving you some fucking good advice, because if they don't, they might steer you in the wrong direction. So hopefully as a mature adult, you're looking at somebody who can offer you great advice and give you that soft validation for those times when you're just a little bit, am I on the right, you could be on the fence about something. Am I doing the right thing? So that's just my take on it. It's just a balance. It's a balance.
I think sometimes when we ask other people, we're really talking it out ourselves at that time. We've already pretty much made our decision. Sometimes we need to hear it all out, spread it all, put all our cards out on the table, and then we might see it from a different angle once we've already put it out there. So it's not always about getting that second opinion, but the second opinion doesn't hurt. It's about, let me make sure I'm seeing this as clearly as I thought I saw it.
Love that.
But that's the thing that I'm trying to bring to light, because I agree with everything that you guys have said. I'm just saying there are people, and it's not necessarily for everybody that's on here, but it's more of the people that do see these videos. Because I once upon a time was a person that had friends that like backed me up for anything, even if I was wrong, right?
Yes, man.
So, and that's right. And that's the problem, where it's like, I didn't realize I was doing that at that time. I had to learn. And then that's now why I gravitate towards people like you're saying, that like you guys have all said it. You have to trust them that they're going to tell you the truth for your best interest, as opposed to like, girl.
Yeah.
I like to think we try to tell people what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. I think that's kind of where I'd like to try to come from. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, as opposed to what you want to hear. And sometimes that's a hard thing to do,
like
right?
That,
That's a hard thing though, because sometimes you're going to hurt people's feelings, right? And that's
not my problem.
But then it's kind of like, then it's like, hey, yeah.
Let me tell you what I do when people ask me for advice. I honestly, especially if I don't know how they're going to receive me, because like with Tish, I know I can just say whatever with her, but most people, you just don't know. Everybody says, "Oh, keep it 100, keep it 100," but they don't really mean that. So I say, when they ask me, "Do you want it 75, 100, or 150?" What's the
I like that.
75 is, I'm a pussy fight for you so you can handle it.
I don't know. I'll be kind of nervous when you say that, because I'm looking at this. I'm looking at how do I dial this down now? Give me 2%.
I'm gonna still give you the truth regardless, but I might make it sound nicer than I'm thinking it. 100 is just, straightforward, and then 150 is exactly how I'm thinking it, which is how you really need to hear it, but you probably don't want to hear it that way, and it might make you cry.
Well, but I think it depends on the relationship too, because I've learned to say, what I say is, do you want me to be supportive or do you want me to be honest?
Because there is a difference.
There is a difference. And like sometimes what I found, especially with women, like not just with women in general, sometimes people do, just like you said, like in therapy, they just want to be heard and supported. That's why I ask, because I'm like you fucked up here.
Right.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I'll ask my friends. I'll say, do you need an ear or do you need a mouth? Do you need me to listen or do you need me to talk? I'll say that to them.
I'm a little bit of the opposite. I don't even give like an option. It's like,
we know.
You kind of ask what you get when you, because just to be honest, it's like you step into somebody's house, it's like, it's their house, their rules. So if you
men don't care about the
if you come to me, ask me, and I'm bad with it. So I just like,
I know.
I'm making faces and everything, like, you really want the truth? Okay. And then I give it to you, and then it's like, you and your feelings.
Yeah. I sometimes I'm super blunt all the time, and I've made some people cry over the years, and I was like, okay, maybe that's not the best way to do it, so that's why I ask now.
Okay. Tears are cleansing and tears are truth. I also want to just put out there, this is the day and age of the hater. So you got to be careful. You might be confiding in somebody for some validation, and they'll set your ass up for failure. So be very careful who you're going to. They might say, "Girl, you need to leave him. You need to leave him alone because
And then
all
she's
along."
with him.
The Bitter Women Committee.
Hold on,
Yeah.
hold on.
Yeah.
I gotta ask that one more time for the viewers. Repeat that little quote you just said. Tears is for what?
Me?
Yeah, repeat that quote you just
Oh yeah,
said.
tears are cleansing. Tears are cleansing. Let them cry, get it out. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Get out the system.
All right, there we go.
What just happened? I came back to this crying man on stream. I don't even know him. I can't validate him. Like
Carmen says she's okay with it.
Okay, I'm gonna validate him because men don't get validated enough for having emotions.
Miss Carmen says she's okay with it. All right, there you
I
go.
mean,
Every once in a while.
All right, well,
if I call you for some advice and you break it down and it causes me to cry, I'm gonna cry, but it's something I needed to hear. Like, it's just the bottom line. Like, it's,
Yeah, but I feel like this
Straight
whole,
no chaser. That's how I want it. Straight no chaser. Give it to me.
this whole panel is like of mature adults. Like that's where it differs. Because
yeah, but that's where the conversation got
Whoa,
going.
whoa! Don't
We
speak
need more.
for me.
Everybody,
Don't speak
not
for me on
everybody
this.
is ready to hear what you have to say sometimes. Do you know what I mean?
Correct.
Like there's times where I've had friends and they're coming to me for advice and I stay quiet because I'm like, you're not ready to receive what I have to say to you. And I know that, and I know this is gonna go. I know this is gonna go wrong. Like I know this is gonna be a waste of my time because you're not ready. But at the same time, I like that this group, like she was saying, it's kind of a mature group of people who want to be self-aware, who want to grow. So where Minka has actually done that to me, she'll get on the phone with me and be like, "Do you want me to listen, or do you want me to tell you what I'm really thinking?" And every time. No, every time I'm like, tell me the truth, give it to me straight. I need to hear it because I'd rather grow than stay where I'm at any day, right? Even if it hurts. But I don't think I was always like that. There's times where I'm like, no, sugarcoat it for me, be supportive, be that supportive friend that just agrees with whatever. And that gets me nowhere. So it's like, but it depends on who your audience is, who's coming to you for it, because not everybody's ready to hear what you have to say. And that's just a waste of time,
I have a question, if I can.
Sure, go ahead, lady.
How do you feel about getting validation from someone for a situation that they're not living their own truth? Like, so you'll have friends who'll say, I wouldn't put up with that, and they're putting up with some worse shit. And you're like, how do you fix your mouth to tell me what I need to do in my situation, and your situation is screwed?
Well, we got the expert.
That?
Yeah, we'll let her go first. We got the expert here.
Oh my goodness. Well, with that, it's like it's easier for them to tell someone else how to live their life because they're not willing to face what they're going through. So they'll criticize, they'll judge, they'll do everything, but it's hard for them to face their truth. That means that they don't want to dig in their own backyard to really go through their stuff. So it's just easier, that's all.
Whoa, that's deep.
I don't have to look at me, so I look at you.
Exactly. There you go.
I've said that about so many.
Or maybe
people.
it's the mirror.
Yeah,
maybe it's the mirror thing. It's like a lot of times when somebody's going through something, it's like the reason why they can give such good advice is because they're going through it. But yeah, it's like, you know, when you give good advice, but you can't take your own good advice. People get stuck in that.
No,
I'm that guy.
Mirror, sometimes they don't see it.
I think I'm that guy though, because I always give I feel like I give the great advice, and then I'll go back and I've said this to Mika, and me and Kina spoke a lot in the past, and I'll say the same phrase, like, hey, I know me, so let me just tell you this as an option. Or did I say anything wrong? Should I say this right, or how should I present it? Because I'm thinking to say one thing, but let me just keep my mouth closed real quick. And what's your perspective on it? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I usually go about it. All right. Speaking of crying, and we're gonna bring out another brother from another mother from the Gray Pill podcast.
Poppy!
You love
What's up, Poppy?
Poppy Blanco. What's going on, Poppy?
Damn, Poppy, you got pretty. Oh, there you are. I'm just kidding.
What's going on, Poppy?
Thank you.
How's your day, man?
Man, just doing my thing, man. Just getting home.
You look
Making me
tired
a
than a
little decent meal,
motherfucker.
and
Last time you was
now I'm
tired
here
too.
with chat.
All right. Hey, what's your
What'd you
thoughts so
say?
far? What's your thoughts so far on validation and everything we discussed about?
I mean, I'm late, so a little bit. It's about like who needs validation, the man or the woman.
It could be both.
This is gonna be
Men
good.
don't need validation.
This is gonna be good.
That's always men and women with him.
Men don't need validation.
Yeah.
Women need all the validation in the world.
I'm sorry, bitch said what?
That is not true.
Exactly.
I
Not
say,
true.
hold on, you call me a bitch?
No, Poppy, I would never call you a bitch. Absolutely not. You're a big swinging big Poppy Chulo.
Hey, I say, I think women is the one that need all the validation from men and other women.
Mm.
I mean, that's not a bad thing. Why? What do you think women get dressed up for? To get validated by a man, right? And why do you think these females is getting all these surgeries nowadays, right? To get validated by other men, right?
And men aren't getting little hair pieces put on, glued on, and covering up their bald spots.
And pecs
Here
and
we
penis
go.
Or getting their locks
Angry when
freshly
they get
twisted.
turned
I'm just
down.
saying.
Nope.
I
Men,
know. We're
men,
not gonna
men
fight.
aren't
I
getting
would
hair
talk
pieces.
about
Men
the
are just letting it
minority.
all hang out. We just going bald maxing.
Nah,
I don't.
dog.
Oh, Maxon, are
They
we gonna
getting
do the
I
men
don't
are
know where you're
getting
getting
weaves.
this.
Men are getting weaves.
Who is that, Kay? Kay, did you just
Oh,
say
you
that?
didn't see me up here?
No, but it's like a lot of people on the side, and I don't know who's talking.
You
Oh, it's
got
my
Miss
baby,
KK.
Kay. What's up, boo?
What's up, boo?
Hey, you lucky you married, girl. Yeah. But hold on, what kind of men you talk about that they get like a hair piece? Like that's the
You
minority,
haven't
man. That's
seen
like
it?
two
It's a
men
Men
new.
out
been
of
It's the
buying
newest
cars for
trend.
if a
years to
man
get
going bald,
validated.
we accept
There
it.
you
That's
go.
it. Huh?
Wait, let me just drop my mic for you.
Say that,
Yeah, men have been
say that
buying
one more time.
cars. You use your vehicles. You use your job and your money to get validated from women, just like women get dressed up to get validated from men or to look beautiful for each other. And we all do it in a form, and it's a healthy way to do it, and then it can become unhealthy. So it's not just a woman thing. Men get validated too.
I have to disagree with
No,
that.
Miss Karma.
Who's
100%.
disagreeing?
We don't get.
Stacey is disagreeing.
We don't get our vehicle to get our feet. We get a vehicle to show up. You can say that we show up. We show way more than women. You can
What do you
say
have
that.
to?
To get validated.
No.
That's
Hold
validation.
One
No,
mic at a
I'm
yeah,
time.
sorry, Stacey. I'm sorry,
One mic at,
Stacey.
hold on, Poppy. Hold on, Poppy. Let Stacey go.
So
What you say?
what I think is getting confused here is dressing up and looking good or taking pride in your appearance and just looking good to look good. That's not validation. Is when that's the only thing you assign your value to. So if I dress up and I look good, that's not me seeking validation. If the compliments that I get are the only thing that make me feel good about myself, that's seeking validation. Like you can dress up and you can look good and you can feel good, but if your value is outside of people saying, "Hey, you look good," like I think there's a healthy way to look at it, and then there's a toxic way to look at it. And you can look good, and you can do your hair, and you can get your,
Yeah, we're with you.
I can honestly say I do it for both. I get dressed by myself in my mirror before anybody sees me, and I'm like, "You look fucking amazing. You look good.
Bam!
Like you look
I ain't gonna lie,
great.
that's me.
There you
Like
go.
this is popping. I'm into this." But when I step out that door and
Reality.
someone says you look amazing or you smell good or baby your hair looks great, that shit feeds me too. I like it. I'm gonna be honest. And I'm not insecure and I'm not seeking it. But when it comes to me, it puts that damn stamp on it. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I thought so. This outfit was popping because now this person said it. It just feels good to get complimented by other people, to know that what you thought for yourself was amazing. This car looks good, but when you pull up and somebody goes, "Oh, that car is bad as hell," it's that little validation that we're all seeking, or I thought that everyone was seeking. But I know I enjoy a little bit of that. So I can be honest in myself and say I enjoy a little bit of that. in a
that's
Oh,
it. I
y'all
healthy
think
do.
regard.
Yeah, but that's healthy.
it's really important to
Women
understand
is the one
healthy
looking
versus
for
toxic.
validation.
Yeah.
Women, no men. Man is not looking
Puppy.
for validation. Now let me hold on.
Mm.
I'm gonna make my point real strong right now. Hey, Prime.
Yeah, lay it down.
Prime. Where
What's up,
Prime
brother?
at? Is Prime here?
Yeah, his little
I'm
head
here,
is there.
brother.
His little
When you
head
went
there.
outside today, how many times they said that you look good today?
Nobody.
They said. What about you, Angelus? Yeah.
Nobody. Nobody.
All right. You see that?
You said that
Now, how
so
many times
sad
you said Miss
like. So sad like.
Huh? What about you, Miss Karma?
Angela sounded
how
so
many
sad
guys?
when he said nobody said he looked good.
Angelus, I
How
think
many,
you were
how many
looking so
guys?
fine tonight, though.
Uh,
You always look good.
you're in
You
that
know,
Canadian
my
accent. It's killing
Poppy,
me.
Poppy. You
Miss
know where
Karma,
I get my validation?
Hey,
Poppy, I get my validation from my.
Karma,
I have
you're
a
right.
picture of Poppy with. I have a picture of Angelus
Working, Miss
without a
Karma.
shirt.
Them tears are working, Miss Karma. Them tears are working.
Cleanse yourself. Yes, let them go.
We don't care about compliments, yo. You know what I mean? Females do. You see what I'm saying? You put like, yeah, to the point that, in order for you to get ready, it takes you like 3 hours. We
Who?
get ready
What
in
does that
15
have to
minutes.
do with
What about when you do
validation?
something nice or sweet
Because
for a
you want to get
girl?
validated. Hold on. I'll be right back.
There you
Of
go. Handle your
course.
business.
Man,
Poppy
He's
about
going to
to go
get
validate
validated.
somebody.
He's going to get
Right. He needs
validated.
some validation.
Poppy got to go validate somebody. Hold on.
I think
Exactly. He was like,
men
let me get out
just
of
as
here.
much.
This validation is important.
All right,
He's
let
like,
me let
this
me
is
read
what
a
it
few.
is. I'm out.
Let me read a few of these chats real quick. We'll go straight back to the video. Shout out to you, Uncle Guns and Ian. They said a few things. I had to highlight it real quick. Where's Uncle Guns? Okay, Uncle Guns says let's go through the checklist for the week to see if you're done everything I tasked you. If so, I will reward you with my time, attention, and a validation.
Ooh.
All right, Uncle Guns again says validation is earned and despaired via reward. Thank you. Must complete task given with difference on a consistent track record. Bias. Who's keeping track? I don't know. Not validation for things you're supposed to be doing in the first place. Boom. Here come Mr. Ian. Shout out to you. I want to help support you in your success. In order to do that, I need to be honest with you and not support your bull. Shh.
I agree 100% with that one.
And Uncle Guns for the last one again, bringing it in the heat. Low quality males buy those things, wear them and drive them to get female validations. Well-rounded men buy things, wear them, and buy them to validate themselves. Boom. All right.
So dudes don't dress to pull women's
Somebody's
attention.
still getting
ever.
validated.
Some
though.
bullshit.
Thank you.
Shout out
Let
to
me
you.
tell you
falling
this.
for
Let me tell you this. So there's guys that like, I'm not joking. They're like, oh, you want to come in my Ferrari? This morning I was walking to fucking move my car. I was wearing sweatpants, and these two dudes pulled up in their truck like, hey, and I'm like, can I park my car, please, sir?
But
Because
to
they
be
have
fair,
that big ass truck, you know.
to be
for
fair,
small businesses.
to be fair, in Uncle Gun's point of view of what you just said, he's saying that it still comes back down to women, where they're doing that to get the attention and attraction from women. I think that's the point he's trying to make.
Right, but that's not, because at the same time, I don't know a single man that is wearing a Rolex and flashing it to women more than he's flashing it to other men. I don't know a single.
Maybe that he feel like that's working for him.
But that's what I'm.
Maybe he likes.
I'm saying. Look, I'm saying that it's no, because I'm saying that it's. I see a lot of validation, especially I'm gonna say it in the Black pill community. Especially, it's let me look good, let me dress good, let me be looked, let me no, because I'm gonna say this because I'm not done. I'm gonna say this because at the same time, that's what got me into this whole thing to begin with. It was these two mofos that were in that community. They were pickup artists. They were showing other guys, and all of the time, it was my God of like, watch this, and we need to get this car. And did you see how that guy looked at me? Wow, everybody liked me today. Everybody was talking to me. It was so much outside external validation. There was nothing internal. It was always based off of external. So in this specific platform with these specific people around, I can say and I can attest that I've seen all of you gentlemen acting with validation from within yourselves. I am not saying that you are anything like these. Poppy, that was a compliment.
Ian, shout out
It's
to
not a
Ian.
compliment, actually.
Yeah, Ian says validation, nothing but a cosign question mark. Who really needs a cosign question mark?
If your credit fucked up, you need somebody to co-sign for you. So if your mental might be a little fucked up, you might need somebody to co-sign that shit until you could get better. Like
got him.
All right.
What about when a guy goes through a breakup and he's like, man, she fucked me up, and then all the guys are around him. She was a hoe anyways, man. She was a hoe anyways.
validation, exactly.
Or how many times have you
That's
girls
no
been asked
validation.
out
That's the
and said
truth.
no?
All right. On that note,
I love how we have all the women have given so many different examples, and all of the guys. I'm not going to say all of the guys. I'm sorry, that was dramatic of me. But some of these guys are saying, no, that's not how it is. It's like, how many examples do we have to give? But yet, when you give us women the examples, we own it. We say, yeah, I do get ready, and I do like to look pretty for some men's validation as well as some women's validation.
I care about what my daughters think of me. I care about their validation.
There you go.
Is it maybe that female validation is more superficial and male validation is more deep, emotionally seated?
No, I don't think it's.
I don't know that.
That's deep.
I think we're overthinking this.
Yeah, I think so too.
I'm just saying.
All of a sudden, it's overthinking.
All right. Back to the clip. We'll come back to it.
1,000%. Yeah. But you can't be on it daily. Yes. You can't be like, affirm me, affirm me, affirm me. Like, you have to find that within yourself. Now, it's nice to be able to know, whoa, in the times where the wave really hits me and I just need to know, like, hey, is this really adding value, to put it in my own language, what I'm doing, or is it working? Is this popping my writing? Whatever. But to not come from a place of like, I can't find in myself that the majority of the time. Sometimes, sure, you can ask. But in those moments, you need to know that whatever they say is true. So that means you have to be willing to accept it, because sometimes it's not going to be what you want to hear.
And we learn the lessons, right? So if you're testing the waters and someone's real with you and you don't react well, they're not going to be real with you the next time. Correct. Because they've just seen how you've reacted. Correct. So if you actually want the honesty, you have to hold up your end of the bargain and basically respond in a way that is encouraging that person to come back to you next time and be honest with you again.
Correct. And the only way to get to that is to actually value truth.
Right.
Like, you actually have to value. You have to want it. And that doesn't mean that it's always going to be easy to hear, but you have to want it. You have to have a value system that says, this bit of truth is going to be so useful that the scales have been removed from my eyes and I'm able to actually see things clearly and now act in a way that allows me to get where I really want to go, whether that's a better relationship, to get better in my job, to be a more skilled lover, like whatever. But you actively have to seek the truth, and then you have to receive the truth, to your point. And if you say anything other than with sincerity, thank you for telling me the truth, you are fucked. Yeah. Because like you said, they're going to go underground. You can't punish somebody relentlessly and expect them to keep going.
Yeah. And in comparing the intelligence thing, I really want to touch on, because I struggled with that as well. So growing up, I was the autistic one in the family, and my brother and sister were like just amazing at math. And so we would sit there sometimes on the weekends, and my dad would like throw out equations, and they'd be like, all right, Lisa, so what's this? And I'd be like, oh. And the panic obviously made me freeze. And then the fact that I wasn't as good as my brothers and sisters made me very much believe that I wasn't good at academics at all. So I absolutely felt like I was extremely inferior to intelligence of my family. And then when I met you, you were so complimentary about my art that I actually started to focus on actually like doing math isn't necessarily the be all and end all, especially because I want to be a mathematician. Right. So I started to focus on that. But the more we were together, like, you are extremely, I don't want to say smart, because I know how you feel about that word. You are self-taught. You read all the freaking time. So I don't want to take anything away from you. Let's just stop there. But you are, like, you understand things on a much higher level than I do. And if I really focused and really spent a lot of time, I could get there. Like, I don't think I'm incapable, but it's not easy for me. And as we started to get into business and, seeing you run Quest and just like how much you grew and changed, I started to feel actually more inferior, because I was like, shit, like now you're accelerating way faster than I am. And I realized that ended up being very detrimental to my own psyche, because you're now not looking at the things that you could improve on, right? It's just a comparison. He's good, I'm not. And then also, like, I'm so happy for you. Like, I'm so happy that you're learning. I'm so happy that you're growing as quickly as you are. And like, if I can just flip it for a second and be like, man, he's motivating me and pushing me to want to get better. And so now I'm just focusing on like how much you're driving me to get better, then the comparison of like where you are and then where I am. And then also just going like, well, shit, Lisa, you're great at things that he's not great at. So like, instead of focusing on the things that you're better at, like remind myself every so often, like, pick up a pencil and draw, see what you got, you know, but like making sure that you don't focus on that one thing that you're insecure about. It's like, look at the entire thing. And then now, especially.
I think that, no, trust me, I took care of that one. I think that came back to what somebody in the chat said with insecurities too. And I think that's something that all of us, I don't think we could be human if I can honestly say that. I think everybody had dealt with some kind of insecurities from time to time, and I'll just say it could be my insecurity, like, hey, you know, Primal got a white and black dog, and I'm just throwing jokes out there. I want a white and black dog.
Why is it gotta be a white and black thing, man? Why is it gotta be a white and black? It's gotta be like Primal's eating chips. He's a big fat fatty. Why can't we go there? Why we gotta be white and black, huh?
Because that makes gray. Duh.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Tish.
You're welcome.
But anybody have any moments like those where it's like, hey, somebody is better than I am, or a friend, or a coworker, or something that I want from them, that so I can be better or smarter or have that, like just Mika said, that car. Maybe I want that car just so I can get that validation because the other jerk got it too.
Yeah, well, there's always going to be somebody out in the world that's bigger, smarter, faster, stronger, whatever, more than you are, right? So talk to them, learn something from them. I don't know if that's necessarily like validation per se, but and again, I think we keep coming back to like validation as like a bad thing, and I guess it's not necessarily like, it depends on what you're being what you're having validated, right?
I don't think it is. Yeah. It depends on how you handle the situation. Like Robin gave one perfect example. It's like, hey, I want the validation of just being nice, or just like, hey, give me a buffer for just in case, or I'm telling you, you're not ready for this, for this strong hard talk, because that could be a validation you may need, but you're not ready for just now.
I mean, being competitive is healthy, as long as it's healthy. But like, no, for example, like Kay and me, like she's at a certain place in life where I would love to be. So I'm not like jealous or need to be validated per se. I find it to be very inspiring and something I know to work towards, because I can see, okay, it can be done, especially as Black women being happily married. Like it's really hard to see that, especially when the woman is still bubbly and fun and sexy and stuff like that. So I mean, it's good to have that healthy, not competition per se in this case, but just to look towards others and see if another human can do it, why can't I?
Yeah, I'm with you too, because I have a buddy of mine, and I have a buddy of mine. He's pretty much like on the same round with Primal, quote unquote, got the family, the house, and all that stuff. At one point, I'm like, I don't want kids, but another point, I'm like, oh, that looks so great to have. And you see the positive side of it, so it's like you want that, you envy that. Now, I envy stuff like that. When I envy, it's like, it's not a negative thing. It's like, maybe that's something I can work toward to get. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I think being really, if we're all being real, it's like we've all experienced. I've personally, I'll just speak for myself. I've experienced where I have a really bad day, right? And I'm looking around and I'm like, how does everybody else figure it out? And I just haven't figured it out. And you feel insecure. And it's not even like an envious, like I want what you have. I feel insecure today. I wish I was further along. Maybe some people are more envious about it, right? But I think what I like about what Tom says is or what his wife said was kind of changing your perspective on it. You can I can sit here all day and be like, why can't I figure this out? Or if we can change the mindset, the perspective on it, like, damn, I could really learn from that person. Let me get closer to that person, see if I can learn from them. And I think that comes down to perspective and self-awareness and just taking the time to grow. Mm-hmm. And like he said, understand, where do those insecurities come from? Is it from your childhood? Is it something like, what's the root of that insecurity? Because is it just a day? Is it a bad day, or is is that who you are? Is that your character? Is that your regular thing? And you're just not doing anything about it.
And I think that you're picking up on a really, really, really important part, and it's that a person has to want to be better. Because I can tell you that, like, I've had a lot of girlfriends that it's usually the same thing where it's like I will either give advice or they'll ask me for advice, and it's like for a little bit they're like, oh my god, blah blah blah, it's so great, and then after a little bit of time it's like, now I'm a bad guy, now I'm this, now I'm not a good friend, now all these crazy things. And like, and I'm going to use you as an example because we're just retarded all the time together.
Me?
Yeah, it's because we like are constantly almost every, and we've gotten in fights. It's a real relationship, but like we
my girlfriend,
always,
but not girlfriend.
Yeah, we're always on the phone gassing each other up or supporting each other. And one of the craziest things is that like where I've said this before, where I really like analyze the crap out of our relationship because I'm a lot more like aggressive and masculine energy, and she's a lot more feminine and like soft energy. And what's happened in our relationship is like what I've noticed is that we've kind of learned from each other where I have had those thoughts of like, how come I can't be as soft as that? How come I can't sound as eloquent when I'm talking like that? How come I can't, you know what I mean? Things that Robin has that I've looked at it and instead I've learned from it. And I know that you've said the same thing about me. And I'll say it too, that like, I was working on her business cards like yesterday or all the days are blurred. And I was looking at her picture and I'm like, this is the part where we're saying like, we are human beings. I love this girl with all my heart. But in my head, I was like, for a moment, wow, she's so pretty. I wish I was like as pretty as Robin. Right. And then I stopped and I was like, first of all, you're pretty too. But then second of all, like you get to be friends with that person that's pretty, that's beautiful on the inside and on the outside. And that's the change in perspective that like, if you're not willing to be a better human being for yourself, for your own self-esteem, for your own dignity, for your own morals, your own grace, then you're not capable of transmuting that into something that's positive.
Hey, Poppy, do you think I'm beautiful?
I think you love yourself.
I want some validation, bro. All right. Appreciate you.
We don't get validation.
I think you're cute, Angelus.
Poppy, you think I'll get married one day?
I think you're going to get a boyfriend at best.
I knew he was going to say that, jerk. Thank you so much, because he was about to go in on me.
And I'm gonna
there you go. Just strike out, girl.
I got some validation for you.
I'm gonna say this shit too.
Your locks look really good. I see you got them fresh twisted.
Okay.
You did that for yourself? Did you do that purely for you?
Of course he did.
He does that shit that's his life.
Actually, girls do it for me so they can look good.
Oh my god. Anyways.
So it can look good for them. But you don't want to look good.
That's validation.
Listen.
So let me wait.
If it was up to me, I would walk around with one big old dread. Like the Florida guys, be having like two dreads.
Oh, so you want a true dreadlock?
Let me do your hair. Females love to do hair. Yeah, females love to touch people, guys' hair. So I'm like, okay, like, and she did it for me. You see, do I look good?
Validation. After he just said he doesn't do the validation thing. That's validation right there. That's proof.
Absolutely.
Do I look good?
I can get a ball.
Miss Karma, you heard validation, right?
I heard it loud and clear. I heard it crystal clear.
We don't care about that. I'm trying to tell you. We don't care about that. Like,
I just want
to say that Poppy is my favorite human in this world.
That's what men do, and we can have a show on accountability next.
Men send dick pics. They want validation. They want somebody to tell them they got to do.
Oh, I want to go there.
Oh, you don't want
Did I hear somebody say dick pics?
Oh,
yeah, that's why they send dick pics.
Can we
want validation?
Can we ask y'all guys a question?
Yes, go ahead.
what are y'all looking for when y'all do send dick pic? Is it really validation? Because some of y'all be sending some janky, weak looking dick pics.
Okay, first of all, hold on.
I mean, listen. The dick looks tired. It looks wore out. And I just want to know what y'all looking for.
Hold on. They're sending you flaccid dick pics?
It's semi-hard. It's semi-hard. Like they just whacked it so much that the dick is hard.
Like they're trying to make it look soft, but like it's big when it's soft.
Like they're a grower.
Ladies, Tish, you asked the gentleman a question. So
I'm
let
sorry.
the men, ask the question.
Right.
Why do y'all send dick pics if it's not for validation?
Poppy, that's a question for you. We'll go down the line. We're gonna go down the line.
Why me?
Start off. You're in the top left, brother.
Because you're the first one with the dick on the panel. That's why.
You can focus up now, motherfucker, and say it.
Sending dick pics, man. Look, those guys don't do it, man, unless you got a big one. Now, because you guys with some small, medium shit, and girls gonna fucking clown you onto 2040, man. Unless you're confident you got a big joint.
That's still not answering the question.
The question is no, that's not the question. The question was, why do you guys? I'm guessing she technically came at us, but why do you guys send dick pics? So why do you? Why do men?
Girl, no, girl, this can be inside you, baby. All this stuff can be inside, deep inside you.
All this can be yours.
All right, we're gonna move along from that one.
What the man is trying to do in a few words is like, girl, I got this.
All right, he's chewing, so we're gonna move away from that one.
It can be yours.
Okay, who's up
Poppy.
next?
Validation.
I cannot again.
No, it's not.
Poppy.
I need some truth. I need some truth.
I cannot speak for no. This is my answer, and to whoever you want to call it. I cannot answer for any other ignorant man out there who want to send wee pics to anybody else. Now, if I'm currently dating you or we're involved, now if you kind of ask and we have that gap time in between, then yeah, one would be sent per request. But I'm not just going to be sending you one willy-nilly. Now, I will accept them, not dick pics. Let's get out of there.
I was about to say, whoa.
Not dick pics. Hey, I already know who be in our chat. Shut up. I already know who be in our chats. So, not that, but if a woman want to send some boobs and some stuff, hey, I'm fine with that. I promise.
But you don't send dick pics?
No, man, I never have.
Never have. Okay.
If she's requesting it, if we're involved and she's requesting it, then yes.
That's an on-demand only service.
Exactly. So you're up, Primal.
Yeah, no, that's a per request type thing. If a dude's out there sending it, he's kind of wild and out. But I think that he thinks he's working with something that's going to impress you. I think that's the thought process that men that go out there and
no, some of them could not possibly think that.
I gotta be fair. Put my face
in their
up there.
own mind. In their own mind, they're impressive, right? So
I gotta be fair. Put my face up there.
Dick pic? Question mark.
Somebody said Angela's OnlyFans leak with wee pics. All right, Marcus. Shout out to you. All right.
It's just like, oh gosh, what's his name? Lil Fizz posted that video of him jacking off with that weird looking penis of his. It was very weird and small.
I don't know anything about. I know Pee Wee Herman back in the day, like 10, 20 years ago. He did something like that, and he got caught in a theater. So,
he was at a porn theater.
I don't care where he at. He got flamed for it. He got flamed for it. He got flamed for it. So now no secret words for him no more. But yeah. But yeah, back to the thing.
So validation, yeah.
Yeah, get the likes up. So yeah, I'm seeing validation all around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you.
Actually being in business together, it's like, man, it's amazing because my weakness is your stronger. And that makes for an amazing business partner and vice versa. And even in our personal, in our marriage, there are things that you're better at dealing with. So for instance, the other day, and this was a bit of a wuss of me, but the other day our puppy brought in a dead bird and I'm drawing and I'm oblivious to it and it's freaking gnawing on this dead bird on our rug. And you come in and you're just like, what's happening? And I'm like, I don't know. And I stood up and I was such a woman. You know what I mean by that. I was like, I can't, oh my God, I feel nauseous. I can't. And it's like, I want you to be brave in those moments that I'm not. And I was very happy with you being way more brave than I was so that you could clear up that dead bird. That's a silly example, but like there are things that you can use as like, see, he saved me from the dead bird.
Now let's really make it complicated.
Yeah.
What happens when somebody's really good at something that you want to be really good at?
And you talk a lot about this, is slip into the student mentality. They're about to teach me something. I'm about to get so freaking good that no one can take it away from me. And here's the key. And I did that with you with the speaking. So people may know that I've been asked to do a TEDx and I'm petrified. And I was just like, oh, shit, my husband is like, in my opinion, the best in the world at it. So like, instead of being like, I've got this, like, you know, I can handle it. I'm just like, I need you. And I was like, I send you texts like, I need to book time with you. I want to be the student. I'm going to sit there with a recording device. And it was just like, I can look at your speaking and make myself feel badly that I'm so not even close to being as good as you are. Or I can say, this is the best fucking thing because I have access and I can learn and I can become the best by being next to the best and being taught by the best.
I like that because I was trying to get to earlier, because I feel like in the relationship, whether it could be my best friend, but just the fact that if my girlfriend, my fiance, or even more importantly, my wife, if she might be the smartest one, but I might be, you know, she might be good in math or just keep budgeting the bills. Everybody got their strengths and weaknesses, right? So her strength might be, hey, she might be the best talker. I may not be the best talker. So, hey, babe, get on the phone, handle business, or hey, we might be in public. I might quick to slap somebody. She might hold me back and get the conversation going. Okay, let's go home. We're good. So anybody can relate to that with your strength and weakness? Well, we'll go to Miss Karma because you know you're married.
I am soon to be divorced, and marriage has not been easy. But just really quick thoughts on the video is she's her husband's biggest fan, that lady, which is so sweet. And she validates the hell out of him throughout this whole video. It's a little exhausting. I don't know if I'm like toxic. Maybe I need to look into myself. But it's like I'm and Keena, you're the professional. It's like she literally, like, I think she's insecure because she bigs him up so much till it's starting to feel uncomfortable to me to listen to it.
Well, let me clap back on that one, maybe, and just me again, my perspective on that, maybe because I think they've been married for like 16 plus years, so maybe they found a way to communicate and build in a way to like kind of self-validate each other in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? And I'll give an example. You know, me and Mika, like, because this is our business, so behind the scenes, I already throw myself on the bus. I think I said something that actually kind of irked her, and she was like, and I didn't see for myself, and she was like, oh, so I'm just letting you know you're doing something that is kind of irking my nerve, making me feel some way. And instantly the fact that, again, I know me, so I would say, oh, I apologize. And then for a second, she's about to go in. I said, look, I apologize. You're right. I'm wrong. Let's move forward. Did she get all gripey with it? Girl.
You did not say I apologize.
Yes, I did.
Or that you were wrong. No.
Oh my God. Well, Keena, let's go ahead and go therapy right now.
I was gonna say,
but
Angela,
it's okay because
which time you're gonna need to be more specific because
no, it was a behind the scenes thing. It's a rarity that happens between us, but you didn't. But I will say this:
I swear, anything I love, I did.
No, you
I did
didn't.
apologize.
You did not. But what you did do was you validated my feelings. You acknowledged what I was saying, and you said you'll keep an eye on it. And that means just as much to me. That means just as much to me.
I'll accept that. And that's a perfect example of what I mean right there. Perfect example. But I think that's why I think what she was doing with the husband, only because they had more years experience. Now, I'm not going to say in the beginning, because usually sometimes people can get in the beginning, and sometimes people have to go through rocky, hard steps to understand each other in the beginning too.
Yeah.
But
go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to answer Angela's question about just like, you know, bouncing off of your spouse and letting them be your encouragement, or just being a balance is really good in a marriage, like, or a relationship of any kind, you know, even between coworkers, friends, or anything. Just having a person who can inspire you, or a person who you can look at and reach some goals and say, you know what, like Mika said earlier, like, oh, she's beautiful. You know, maybe I can style my hair a little bit like that, or get some makeup tips from her or something like that. I don't think anything's wrong with that as long as there's balance. I'm huge on that, on a balance. But that wife, to me, she's I don't know. I know this is not to judge her, but I just see like To me, she's, I don't know. I'll keep that opinion to
I think
myself.
I actually
the question.
disagree.
She was answering the question, but she was also giving background knowledge because he kept trying to take you through the history. So what she was doing was giving us an example of her childhood trauma, which that's what basically he talked about. So and she kind of highlighted as a speaker, what speakers do is they give you background knowledge, they gain you in with the story. So she was speaking, she was going on the script. So she provided a full story so you could understand her process and thoughts of how she grew.
How she grew. Got
exactly.
it.
So that's basically what she was doing. So she was trying to answer the question with a dialogue.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So because I hear what you're saying, and like to the naked eye, it does look like, okay, bitch, do you love yourself? But but like what she's like, to touch on the story that she's telling, it kind of skims through it because she is gassing him up, but what you may be seeing as like kissing ass sounds more like inspirational to me. Because what she also said is like when she was really nervous and she was really scared, she did ask him for help, and what she said that he did, because it doesn't seem like he's very vocal. Like there's different ways of loving, right? And so she seems more of a love of words.
Expression.
Yeah. And she seems more like the kind that like will validate, and he seems like he needs that because he's also the more quiet, reserved person. He's not sharing as much as she is. And so, but she's also talking about how he's more action oriented. So that's what I'm looking for, because I also like words, but what I really focus on is like, show me who you are. And what she was describing was that he went with a pen and paper. It's like, I'm going to watch you. We're going to repeat it. I'm going to be your biggest cheerleader. And so that's the part where it's like, instead of focusing on what she's saying and gassing him up, also pay attention to what she's saying that he's done to help her.
Done for her.
Action-wise. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Because I will 100% be that bitch that's like, you are my man, you are my king. If I find a guy that's actually wanting to help me like that, 100%, because that's what I am looking for.
And I think I like the idea of the love languages now. That's a newer term, not new, but it's pretty fairly new. I love that because you do have to understand your partner's love language and they have to understand yours.
Yes.
And that obviously is their love language. She's the one who's going to give that validation, and he's the one who's going to, encourage her from within and be able to help her grow. So I do see that.
And let me just add a sense of that for just the men out there, because like I know we made a joke about like men is simple, which pretty much I still feel like it's true. But for me, my love language, it doesn't take much. Like a little attention here, a little attention there. We can get all the particulars like what the guys want. We already know, but that goes a long way. Those little things right there goes a long way with the guy mostly, and we feel like we can move mountains. You know what I'm saying? So. Even if behind the doors, because a woman can go out the door. I'm not a fly on the wall, and I can come back, and a woman and somebody like, yeah, your wife just spoke to me. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know, and I come back home and, hey, let me whip up that breakfast for you, girl. I got you.
And that's the part where validation is not such a negative thing, especially when it comes to men. I know that a bunch of guys are saying it's not a thing, but the reality is, women, we are nurturing. So when we nurture a man, and we, like Angelus gave that example, you like hit it on the mark that I totally forgot about, is that men want to feel like a man. They want to feel like they have provided, they are good enough, they have the way that you used to describe it, I've heard so many men describe it like they feel like they can move mountains and they're a better provider, they're a better lover. And it's the same thing with women. We want probably what she's talking about. You know what I mean? Take out the trash.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't know about anything else, but I'm a cocky lover. You tell me you think I can't. Oh, I'm in there. All right, I'll leave that alone. But yeah, we're gonna move on.
And it just switches your mind. There's no ego now involved at all.
I'm gonna drag us into a hole.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna see if I can get us back out. I'm not sure I can actually. But this is really interesting to me. So there's a movie called Amadeus about Mozart, Amadeus, Amadeus, Mozart, whichever it is. I actually don't know right now.
Amadeus, Mozart, I think.
Yeah, right?
I think so.
Anyway, whichever it is. And Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, there it is. That's his name. And the other character in the movie is a guy named Salieri, who's a real person, by the way, a real composer. And growing up, I identified as Salieri. And I actually still get flashes of this sometimes, where what made Solieri the tragic character that he was, and they show this in the movie, Solieri plays like these really beautiful songs. He's playing them to somebody. He says, do you recognize the song? And he plays it, and they're like, no, I'm so sorry, I don't recognize it. How about this one? He plays another one. They're his songs. The person's like, I'm so sorry, I don't recognize that. And then he plays a Mozart song. They're like, oh, I know that one. And he's like, exactly, that's Mozart. And he was like, I'm just good enough to realize I'll never be Mozart. And I was like, God, like, you want to talk about my nightmare? Like, all of the things that I tell people, like, you can do anything on a long enough timeline. Like, it can be yours. You can build this skill set. Yeah. And then I'm watching this movie. Well, this is out of order. This is back when I had a fixed mindset. And I was like, oh my God, I'm Solieri. Because I've always felt just smart enough to realize I'm not that smart.
So what would you do if it was in a relationship and there's something that you were like, I want to get that good at it. And you, let's say I was better.
Ready? So we're deep in the hole now, right?
Yes.
We can agree
Yes.
that there are probably some things. I always say you can get good at anything you set your mind to without limitation.
Yeah.
That's a lie. But do and believe that which moves you towards your goals.
Right.
I think the only...
Anybody agree with what he just said?
I didn't hear him. He skimmed through it.
Hold on, let me back it up.
Real answer is
that you were like, I want to get that good at it. And you, let's say I was better.
Ready? So we're deep in the hole now, right?
Yes.
We can agree
Yes.
that there are probably some things. I always say you can get good at anything you set your mind to without limitation.
Yeah.
That's a lie. But do and believe.
Do you agree with that?
Did he say it was a lie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lie.
Yeah.
What a dick.
But it's true.
It's true. To a certain extent, I can't grow a third boob, but like, it's
Growing a third boob doesn't make you perfect. He's saying, like, just anything else you're trying to accomplish. If I say, like, you're better than I am in mathematics, and the reality is I can't get there, so I just got to accept the truth. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna put myself down or exit myself out of life. But
the underlying thing, the missing piece of that is that if you want to, I'm gonna tell you this, I can guarantee you that there's been some things that like I wanted to do and I've done every single one of them. That's why I kind of disagree with that. It doesn't mean that you're gonna be if let's say I wanted to be the greatest person or the greatest pianist of all time, I can't guarantee that. I'm 30 years old. I kind of missed the bus.
That's what he's pretty much talking about. It could be age limit too. I'm just saying that's pretty much the point he's trying to talk about, I guess.
Yeah,
but it's
go ahead.
Oh, I think one of the things he's saying too is like, and it's something I've gotten myself into trouble. I know, Minka, you're like, I've tried a number of things and I can get it done. But there's been a lot of things where I've looked at someone and I'm like, oh my God, they're really good at that. I want to get really good at that. And it's like, just not, am I in love with it? Is it my natural talent? Or is it just, I see something about that I admire? Like, will I ever get there? I don't, there's some things that are just not my gifts. Right. And I think we all are gifted in certain things. It's like, find your gifts, cultivate your gifts, pour time into your gifts, but don't just do it because that person's good at it. And you see maybe what people actually see in something that they like is the dedication, the achievement, the admiration they have towards what they're doing for themselves. But it's like finding that in yourself. What's that gift for you? Right.
Right.
That's
what I meant.
My son,
I agree with that too.
My son is quite an accomplished violin player, right? And I mean, he's amazing, makes beautiful music, writes his own music, everything. Can dance while he plays. That baby wants to sing. He can't sing a lick. I mean, he puts his all into it. He's singing all day, every day, and he sounds a hot ass mess every single time. But he wants to do it, and he's willing to put in the work to do it, but he still can't sing.
All right, shout out to your son.
That's good.
Primal, what's your thoughts on this song, bro?
Which part of it? Because there was a lot of words being said.
A lot. It's easy to get lost in it because they were talking so much.
There were a lot of words. Give me a shot group here.
What are we? All right. Well, he's talking about when people try to thrive to be perfect, but he's saying that's not. He don't believe that's true. That's a lie.
Thrive to be perfect?
Yeah,
perfect isn't real.
Perfect's not real.
Oh, I didn't know that's what he said. Never mind. I take it
back.
Well,
that's where we get. That's where the point we're making.
So is perfect real? Is that kind of the core? of
Yeah,
it?
like
Is
you
that
can
the core of
practice.
the question?
Yeah, you
And
can
I
practice
think
all day.
it's what's perfect to you, right? Because what's perfect to you is going to be what's perfect to somebody else. And then your idea of perfect is very much probably not going to match somebody else's idea of perfect. So there can be perfection, quote unquote, but it's your version of perfection. If there's one omnipotent perfection out there, I don't think there is. But in your own eye, it's as good as it could get. Is that perfection? Maybe. I don't know.
Okay.
And just why you keep putting that comment back up?
Because it got to be addressed. Marcus said, shout out to Marcus. Marcus says, as modern women say, manifest. And what's your sign when we'll laugh behind your back at your expense?
Hey Marcus, what's your sign? You're Scorpio, huh?
Shout out to Marcus and shout out to Alicia.
Shout out to the Scorpios, apparently.
What's sign?
No.
I don't know. You're a Scorpio, Stacey?
Yes.
Oh, that
Ooh,
makes
you're
so much.
dirty bitch.
That makes so much sense now with you and me right now. That makes so much sense.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can we rewind that real quick?
Rewind what?
So you just acknowledged zodiac signs?
I always acknowledged it.
Oh, that's right. You did. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't put it out there like, yeah, girl, we're gonna be because you're a Cancer and Taurus, we're gonna get married. I don't do that now. That is dumb. That is dumb. It's just a factor in conversation. That's all it is.
I don't know jack about zodiac signs.
Yeah, you wouldn't, you Scorpio.
Well, you throwing up the horns like you represent.
Scorpio. I know. I'm pretty sure I'm not supposed to date 90% of the other zodiacs.
Really?
That's true.
Oh wow. Okay, that's something new I learned.
Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Yeah,
put that thing in a little
supposedly
toolbox.
Scorpios are just mean and not fun. That's the word.
No, they're amazing.
Scorpios are passionate.
So fun.
Passion and fun. My
my
homeboy's a Scorpio, and I just felt like he's fun and passionate. But I was like, hey, I'm just that laid back, chill dude. So that's how I am. But shout out to Alicia, and I appreciate you, Alicia, for coming on through. She says, after this, I'm going to watch television until it watches me. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Gray Pill Podcast.
I love that.
Yeah, it was great.
That which moves you towards your goals.
Right.
I think the only real answer is, if the only reason you're doing it is to be the best, you're going to be miserable. If you don't love the process in and of itself, don't do it. Don't go down the road. If you're one of those people, like this happens with athletes. In fact, the Breakfast Club, one of the most powerful moments in the Breakfast Club is when the kid is like, I'm a wrestler, I'm a state champion, whatever. And every time I'm on the mat, I hope my knee blows out so that I never have to wrestle again, so that people will stop expecting me to win. And it's like, that's what happens when you're not in love with the process. It was like me trying to get rich. And all I was focused on was the outcome. I wasn't thinking about, today I have the opportunity to impact somebody. I have the chance to get better and get so good that I can help somebody else. And that's going to make me feel rad. Because one, I just value the skill set in and of itself. And two, it also allows me to help other people. Like, fuck, that's amazing. And so even if I never become the greatest of all time, it's rad to have the North Star. Like, it's rad to want to be the next Mozart. It's rad to look at him and be like, fuck, I'm coming for you, man. I'm going to get you. But you need to know deep down, if you never make it to that, that you should A, enjoy it, and B, still love his music. Like, if you can't be like, fuck, that's so inspiring to me. Like, I'm so amped by that. Like, for instance, really, truly, I wish I could draw. Like, I know I say it in a way that makes it sound tongue in cheek. Fucking for real.
There you go. And that's pretty much the end of it. So, what's your thoughts so far overall with validation and everything that we discussed about, ladies and gentlemen? We'll go around the room. Miss K.
I'm still overall, I think if you're seeking the validation, it still comes back to not having the confidence in what you yourself believe. You still need somebody to come and say, that's okay. You did the right thing or whatever. And we're all guilty of it, whether we are willing to admit it or not. We all do it to some degree. And at the same time, that validation of, I do want to address the marriage validation though from earlier, because like with my husband, I constantly shower him in accolades, and I speak highly of him when I'm online, when I'm talking to other people, because he's just fucking amazing. And I never shy away from saying that to him or about him, and he does the same in reference to me. Is he seeking it? No. But does he appreciate it? Yes, because I'm always showing him that I appreciate all that he does, all that he brings to the table day in and day out. So I never shy away from that at all. So I don't know how that comes off to other people, but I don't care either.
It's
I
not
just
public.
know
Yeah.
that he's just fucking
Highly
awesome. And I'm
wonderful.
always gonna say that he's awesome. But I don't know if he actually needs to hear that as often as I say it, but I know it definitely makes him feel good when he hears it.
Okay. What about you, Miss Karma?
I like what Miss K just said. I think that's beautiful when you loved correctly and you're in the right relationship and it's reciprocated and you can feed off each other. I think it's beautiful. I think it's nothing wrong with validation as far as, in a like somebody used the word soft earlier. I think it's okay. I think as long as it's balanced, I'll use that word. We all need it some way or another. You might not always have to rely on it. You might not always need it, and it might not be for malice intent. But I think soft validation is a wonderful thing. And I think somebody touched to it earlier. It doesn't always have to be looked at as a negative. So that's my last thoughts on that.
Okay. Mr. Robin, get your mug up there.
I think it goes back to self-awareness, and just really understanding your own morals, your values, knowing who you are and what's important to you, being able to validate yourself. And I think we all do need validation from other people occasionally, but somebody else said it earlier, be careful who you're going to seek that from. Make sure it's a trusted person that really truly cares for you. I don't think it's a bad thing, but just make sure you're not needing it all the time. And if you are needing it all the time, check in with yourself.
What about you, Miss Scorpio?
Miss Scorpio. I think that it's really important to know the difference between seeking that validation and making that your value, and being aware when other people are seeking validation that, hey, you don't have to give it to them. But I mean, I can tell you from a 10-year marriage, having no validation provided ever is so poisonous. And so it's exactly what Miss K said. If say your wife comes home or does the dishes every night, but she's having a really, really, really hard day and she's stressed and she's a little disconnected that day and she does the dishes anyway, you just thank her that day. Like, thank you for doing the dishes tonight. That's a validation. That's a positive. It's just like a positive thing that you have to do that in a relationship and in a dynamic in your friendships for no reason, not when it's being toxically sought after for value, but if somebody looks good, tell them they look good.
Okay, well said.
If hubby's going to work and he looks good, tell him, damn, you look good today.
Nah, Stacey, you serve that man up before he walk out that door. That's what you do.
That's right. Don't leave it for anybody else to do it.
Facts. Drain them dry. Drain them dry, Kay. All right, Tish, what you got?
Well, validation in a relationship is definitely equates to love. When you love someone, you give them that covering, or in other words, validation. So, I mean, if someone is not giving you validation in the form of making you feel secure, making you feel loved, then that's not the person for you, and you just should keep it pushing. So, to me, validation equates to love in a romantic relationship.
Nice.
Okay.
Hey, Alicia. Marcus, you're a hater. Marcus is a hater. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Oh no, you're good. Shoot them jabs out there.
She got all her she's shooting all her shots. That's okay. That's the pharmacist. She got jabs. She got jabs. No, I think that for some people, validation is a really big deal to them. and not even just in a romantic relationship kind of way, just in a life way. Like they want people to tell them that they're doing the right thing or they're doing a good job. And if they don't get that validation, then they start feeling less for whatever reason. I kind of feel bad if that overcomes your life and you are almost always seeking outside approval. And I think most of your approval should be coming from you. So I think there's a balance to be had, but I would say this much: never live your life strictly for somebody else's approval, because you won't be happy with the person you've become. So
that part. I agree with that. What about you, Mika Me?
Oh, sorry, I was reading the chat.
Oh, I got you, girl.
Focus up now, motherfucking safe.
Anyways, I think validation can be a good thing and a bad thing. I do a lot of validating. Poppy, I say you're the coolest guy ever all the time, and I validate a lot of the points that you make, even when other people don't understand them. Primal, I call you the level-headed one all the time. Angelus, I told you earlier that like this having you in my life has brought me a lot of joy. These are all things that I don't need to say. I enjoy saying them to you guys because you guys have been positive influences in my life. So this, I really like have a thing with validation can be a good thing if utilized correctly and if you know yourself and the person knows themselves. And I think it can also be something where like I've had friends and I've also been the person where I'm like down and out and I've had someone, actually Robin, I think I was like exhausted or something and I didn't even know that I needed human interaction, and she came to my house unannounced and just hung out with me while she did work. Like it's just, there's a lot of like validating that can be a positive influence on a person's life, and I think that it's not just all negative, and it's not a negative, and I think it has a severely negative connotation the way society plays on it. Because like if I look good, oh, she wants attention. Damn right. And what? Can I help you? And it's the same thing for guys. Like if you want to look, it's not just about the car or the watch or any of that. Like Poppy, you got your hair, you have your hair done and a beautiful white bandana thing that matches your beautiful white shirt. Like that is validation, and it's good on you. You look like a damn good man. And I validate your fatherhood. I love the fathers on this. I love all the parents. You guys are like actual parents. I love it. Sorry. Carry on.
They don't have actual parents in LA.
Well,
I just
lead attorney here.
I won't say. It's none of my business. Anyways. Even when you pick on me, you dick. I take it all back.
I know you. Hey, Pop, what you got for us, bro?
Like I was saying, women need
Only
validation.
women need validation.
Only women they need the validation. That's like your bloodline to keep going. You see what I'm saying? Even my validation. So, and my grandma was like 80-something years old. She still needed validation from my grandpa. So that proves my point. And they prove my point too. She said she validate her husband all the time. And her husband be like, hey, whatever, real man move. We don't care about that. That's when Minka always tell me, no, man, you're a great father. I don't care about that because I'm supposed to be a great father. That's what I sign up for. You see what I'm saying? I just hope my kids that recognize. And when somebody said like when men were showing rolling and stuff like that, we don't do that for validation. That's just show off. That's just showing off. We just letting people know we got bread. I mean, I ain't no rich, but that's what they implication that they're trying to. I think Robin said that, right?
No, but I have dated somebody who was very materialistic, and it wasn't even. I don't even think it was for the girls, to be honest. I don't think it was for me. I think it was to other men. Like it was very much competition.
Which you do think
with
is
other
where
men.
men seek greater validation
from
from other men.
Backgrounds. Was he poor before?
He
but
was.
That matters when because where we come from, we talk about validation. Validation. That's what we do. It's called swag. It's called style, man. We just go buy
Like I didn't
low
even have the right shoes one time. I didn't have the right shoes one time, and he was like,
I'll let y'all,
"We're going to the mall." Like,
I'll let y'all beat Poppy. That's why I wanted to get him out the way.
no, yeah, and I had to be dressed a certain way because how it looked, and it ended up not working out, but because it had to look a certain way, he needed his life to look a certain way. And yeah, he did come from a broke background, and then he made a lot of money, but he wanted everything to look a certain way and be a certain way. And it wasn't for me. He wasn't buying those shoes for me. He was buying those shoes for what it made him
For
look
clout.
like.
Made him look
What
good.
it made
He
him
was
look
dressed a
like.
certain way.
All right.
So
Is this like an entertainer or athlete?
We'll have overtime.
No.
Let me get this. Let me get the final words, and I'll let y'all have the we got 30 more minutes, so we can have the free for all.
That matters.
Sir, we have the free for all conversation. So I was hoping Marcus was just in, but he stepped out. But that's fine. But Marcus, I have a special shout out to you, bro, because I was gonna have him do a promo, but I did something.
He left?
He stepped in, and I was gonna have him do like a promo for us. And I'm gonna think. And again, validation to Primo, because he does it all the time over here, and he did it specially. Primo asked him to do it on his end and actually clipped it. So this is a special shout out for you. I was trying to get it in a little joking manner, but this is our promo for the Gray Pill podcast. So here you go. This is for you, Marcus. Shout out to you.
Speaking of, hitting it and, getting the game right to get the ladies, when you come home from a long day of work, when you're tired and your girl looks at you and, you're having a little trouble down there sometimes because you're so damn tired, testosterone levels might be low. You see that blue pill on that corner of the edge of your seat? Please take that Blue Chew or Cialis. Enter code word Blue Chew or Cialis and get 15 to 20% off. If you're a first-time customer, you'll get 40% off. $15.99. Bingo.
Love it.
That's my guy.
I'm rich, bitch!
You know, someday I'm gonna become uber famous, and Marcus is gonna get like 10% for.
I swear, everything I love, bro. I swear.
Poppy, why are you sideways?
That is amazing.
He said he's validating that lean right now. He's validating that lean.
I like Uncle Guns. Great validation. I'm gonna call my next podcast stream that one. Great validation. Yeah.
All right, now since we got 30 minutes left, the conversation is pretty much over. So since we're pretty much jumped on Poppy with the conversation and the validation, all the stuff we're saying, definitely shout out to you, Miss Karma, because that gave me an idea for this Saturday's topic. You said no accountability. So y'all ladies is more than welcome for this Saturday, 7 p.m. Let me get my little mug in here. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget Gray Pill Podcast. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button, hit the likes as you're coming in, as you're coming out, because we're giving you such gems. All right. This Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time, because we had to knock it down an hour. So just to repeat it, Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time. You know, I'd like to remember it now, Mika, because we will be having a great conversation. So I was leaning to one, but Miss Karma, thanks to her, and I validate her and appreciate her for coming on. So she gave me a good idea. Matter of fact, it dwarfs the idea I had.
I'm sorry, sir, you're long stroking it.
Yes, I am, because it's the ending.
I'm gonna start.
I got to get the viewers out there. Got to get the viewers out
there.
And so the topic will be about no accountability for Saturday, 6 p.m. Central Time.
That's better.
There you go. What you got for us, Poppy? So since we got like halftime now, the lady's saying it ain't just all about them, it's about you. It's about the men too. They validate too. Oh, did I just kick? Oh, brought it in. Okay, cool. You quiet now, bro. All right, I guess.
Poppy's in the chat. He not.
Yeah, he didn't hear any of the good shit I said.
I'm taking the babies to see Batman.
So. Okay.
I brought that up on my last stream. That was kind of my warm-up conversation. Yes, it's amazing.
I haven't seen it yet.
Is it? Okay, because you're the first person I've run into that actually has seen the movie. I
really?
plan to go see it Friday.
It's
really
good. It's
no
good.
one I never saw it.
I saw it. It was good.
Yeah, I saw the trailers and the leaks and stuff. Like you can kind of tell. I was hesitating on him the beginning, but as more and more developed, I was okay. I can breathe a little bit because I'm a huge fan of just Batman, not him.
That was one of the most recent times I came out of a movie. Like, man, I was excited about watching that movie. Like, I was just like waiting to go back and watch it again. Like it was good.
Did you
I
see
thought
Spider-Man?
it was really good. Yeah.
No Way Home. That was good.
Yeah.
That was real good.
Okay.
Bye, Robin.
Yeah, I did go see that.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank
Appreciate you, Robin. Appreciate you. See you Saturday.
Yeah.
right,
I
see
didn't know
Saturday.
about to interrupt and say good night as well.
Okay.
Good
Thank you,
night,
Miss
everyone.
Karma. Hope to see you Saturday.
I'm saying good
Yes.
night. Bye, everyone.
It was really nice meeting everyone. It was great. Thank you for
Yes,
having
indeed.
me.
Thank you
Good night,
guys.
love.
All right.
Let's talk about dick pics.
No, we're lying.
Exactly.
No. We talk behind the scenes. On that
Oh, my
note,
bad.
we'll be
I was about to let it rip. Woo!
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all. Well, look at Nixie, his face in there real quick. Nixie, got something real quick before we close out? Everybody just popping in. I love y'all.
Man, I happened to come in at the worst time when I heard Minka say, let's talk about dick pics.
Do you send them?
Hell no.
All right, there
Never?
we go.
You've never sent one?
Nope. Wait for the real deal. That's how
Okay.
Not even upon request.
I've never been requested for a dick pic from a chick,
No.
man.
Really?
Nope.
It's because we don't.
Some do.
I
It
don't know a whole lot of
Some
women that ask
some
for
do.
them.
Yeah,
I
some do.
actually know of girls that like have specifically gone through their phone book and been like, "Send me a picture of your dick. Let me see your dick. Let me see your dick."
All right.
They're young. They're young, horny girls.
That's
though.
a trap. That's bait.
Are they
That is
seeking
bait.